Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm Karina, living Lean Six Sigma or living L6S, where I live, breathe, do continuous improvement. We're on part 2 of our general oral and practical. So we're going to kick it off with ground operations and servicing. Question: what is the proper way to extinguish an induction system fire that occurs when starting at reciprocating engine? Answer: keep the engine running and blow the fire out. If this does not work, use a CO2 fire extinguisher directed into the carburetor air inlet. Question: what type of fire extinguisher is best suited for extinguishing an induction fire in a reciprocating engine? Answer: carbon dioxide. Question: what must be done if a hung start occurs when starting a turbojet engine? Answer: terminate the starting operations and find the reason the engine would not accelerate as it should. Question: what is meant by a liquid lock in a cylinder of an aircraft engine, and how is one cleared? Answer: oil accumulates in the cylinders below the center line of the engine and prevents the piston moving to the top of its stroke. To clear the liquid lock, remove one of the spark plugs and turn the engine crankshaft until all of its oil is forced out of the cylinder. Question: what specific precautions should be taken when towing an aircraft that is equipped with a steerable nose wheel? Answer: be sure that the nose wheel does not try to turn past its stop. Some aircraft must have the torsion link on the nose wheel strut disconnected when they are being towed. Question: when starting an aircraft engine that is equipped with a float carburetor, in what position should the carburetor heat control be placed? Answer: the cold position. Question: how far ahead of an idling turbojet engine does the danger area extend? Answer: 25 feet. Question: why is it important that a turbine fuel not be mixed with aviation gas, avgas, that is used in an aircraft reciprocating engine? Answer: the turbine engine fuel will cause the engine to detonate. Question: what grade of aviation gas is dyed blue? LL 100 octane, low lead 100 octane. Question: what damage is likely to occur if an aircraft reciprocating engine that is designed to use 100 octane fuel is operating with 80 octane fuel? Answer: detonation will occur, which will cause such things as bent connecting rods, burned piston, and cracked cylinder heads. Question: what is meant by detonation in an aircraft reciprocating engine? Answer: detonation is an uncontrolled burning of the fuel in the cylinder of an engine. It is an explosion rather than a smooth burning. Question: what is the danger of using a fuel that vaporizes too readily? Answer: vapor lock. Vapor lock in the fuel lines. This will shut off the flow of the fuel to the engine. Question: what type of fuel is Jet A fuel? Answer: a fuel with a heavy kerosene base, a flash point of 110 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit, a freezing point of -40 degrees Fahrenheit, and a heat energy content of 18,600 BTU per pound. British thermal units per pound. Question: what is the significance of the two numbers 100 and 130, 100/130, in the dual rating of avgas? Answer: the first number is the octane rating or the performance number of the fuel when operating with a lean mixture, and the last number is the octane rating or performance number when operating with a rich mixture. Question: What are two functions of tetrahedral lead that is added to avgas? Answer: it increases the critical pressure and temperature of the fuel, and it acts as a lubricant for the valves. Question: what information must be located near the fuel tank filler opening in an aircraft powered by a reciprocating engine? Answer: the word avgas and the minimum fuel grade. Question: what information must be located near the fuel tank filler opening in an aircraft powered by a turbine engine? Answer: the word jet fuel. The permissible fuel designation or references to the AFM for permissible fuel designation. For pressure fueling system, the maximum permissible fueling supply pressure and the maximum permissible defueling pressure. Question: what action should a mechanic take while taxiing an aircraft on a runway if the tower shines a flashing red light at him or her? Answer: taxi the aircraft clear of the runway in use. Question: what publication lists the standard hand signals that are used for directing a taxiing aircraft? Answer: Aeronautical Information Manual. Question: what should be done to a reciprocating engine fuel system if turbine fuel is inadvertently put into the tanks and the engine is run? Answer: the entire fuel system must be drained and flushed with gasoline, the engine given a compression check, and all of the cylinders given a borescope inspection. The oil must be drained and all of the filters and strainers checked. After the aircraft is properly fueled, the engine must be given a proper run-up and check. All right, here's your practical questions or tasks, and this is for the ground operations and servicing. Properly start, run up, and shut down an aircraft reciprocating engine. Next, properly start, run up, and shut down an aircraft turbine engine. Next, drain a sample of fuel from an aircraft fuel system. Check the fuel for the presence of water and identify the grade of the fuel. Next, demonstrate to the examiner the correct hand signal to use when directing the operation of an aircraft to answer. Start engine number 1, move the aircraft ahead, stop the aircraft, emergency stop at aircraft, shut the engine down. Next, demonstrate to the examiner the correct way to clear the cylinders of an aircraft reciprocating engine of a hydraulic lock. Next, demonstrate the correct method of securing an aircraft to the flight line tie downs. Next, demonstrate the correct way to hand prop an aircraft engine. Next, properly secure an airplane for overnight storage on an outside tie-down area. Next, jack one wheel of an airplane so the wheel can be removed. Explain to the examiner the safety precautions that must be taken. Next, connect a tow bar to an aircraft nose wheel for moving the aircraft. Explain to the examiner the precautions that must be taken when moving the aircraft. Next, fuel an aircraft using the proper grade and amount of fuel. Explain to the examiner the safety procedures that must be used for this operation. Next, properly connect auxiliary power to an aircraft for the purpose of starting the engine. Explain to the examiner the safety precautions that should be taken. Next, taxi an aircraft using the proper safety procedures. Next, properly secure a helicopter for overnight storage in an outside parking area, accounting for high wind conditions. Next section, cleaning and corrosion control. Question: identify the areas of an aircraft that are most prone to corrosion. Answer: battery compartments, exhaust systems and exhaust trails, wheel wells, lower area of the belly or the bilge, bilge, I don't know how to say it, bilge, piano hinges, areas of dissimilar metal contact, welded areas, inside of a fuel tank, especially integral tanks, metal fittings and under high stress areas, lavatories, and food service areas. Question: where is filiform corrosion most likely to occur on an aircraft? Answer: under a dense coat of top coat enamel such as polyurethane. Filiform corrosion is caused by improperly cured primer. Question: where is fretting corrosion most likely to occur on an aircraft? Answer: in a location where there is a slight amount of relative movement between two components and no way for the corrosive residue to be removed as it forms. Question: where is intergranule corrosion most likely to occur on an aircraft? Answer: along the grain boundaries of an aluminum alloy that have been improperly heat treated. Extruded aluminum alloy is susceptible to intergranule corrosion. Question: where is dissimilar metal corrosion most likely to occur on an aircraft? Answer: anywhere different types of metal come into contact with each other, especially where moisture is present. Question: where is stress corrosion most likely to occur on an aircraft? Answer: in any metal component that is continually under a tensile strength. The metal around the hole in castings that are fitted with pressed in bushings are susceptible to stress corrosion. Question: what must be done to a piece of aluminum alloy to remove surface corrosion and to treat the metal to prevent further corrosion? Answer: remove the corrosion residue with a bristle brush or a nylon scrubber. Neutralize the surface with chromic acid or with some type of conversion coating. Protect the surface from further corrosion with a coat of paint. Question: what is used to keep corrosion from forming on structural aluminum alloy? Answer: an oxide coating or aluminum cladding. Question: how may rust be removed from a highly stressed metal part? Answer: by glass bead blasting, by careful polish with mild abrasive paper, or by using fine buffing compound on a cloth buffing wheel. Question: how should corrosion be minimized at piano hinges? Answer: they should be kept as clean and dry as practicable and lubricated with a low viscosity moisture dispersing agent. Question: what tools are proper for removing corrosion from aluminum alloy? Answer: aluminum wool or aluminum wire brushes. Severe corrosion can be removed with a rotary file. Question: what is used to clean transparent plastic windshields and windows of an aircraft? Answer: mild soap and plenty of clean water. Question: what is used to neutralize the electrolyte from a lead acid battery that has been spilled on an aircraft structure? Answer: a solution of bicarbonate of soda and water. Question: what is used to neutralize the electrolyte from a nickel cadmium battery that has been spilled on an aircraft structure? Answer: a solution of boric acid and water or vinegar. Question: what solvent is recommended for removing grease from aircraft fabric prior to doping it? MEK, which is methyl ethyl ketone, or lacquer thinner. Question: what can be used to repair the anodized surface of an aluminum alloy part? Answer: a chemical conversion coat such as allodyne, also known as bonderite. Question: What type of device is used to remove surface corrosion from a piece of magnesium alloy? Answer: a stiff hog bristle brush. Question: how is the inside of structural steel tubing protected from corrosion? Answer: the tubing is filled with hot linseed oil and then drained. All practical projects and tasks for cleaning and corrosion control. Number 1, given samples of corroded aircraft structural materials, identify the type of corrosion and describe the correct procedure for removing the corrosion and treating the damaged area to prevent further corrosion. Next, remove the corrosion from a piece of aluminum alloy furnished by the examiner and treat the metal to prevent further corrosion. Next, treat a piece of aircraft structure so moisture cannot reach the metal and cause corrosion. Next, select the proper cleaning materials and remove grease and exhaust deposits from an aircraft structure. Next, select the proper cleaning materials and remove oil that has been spilled on an aircraft tire. Next, demonstrate to the examiner the correct way to remove rust from a highly stressed engine component. Next, properly remove the finish from a piece of painted aluminum alloy. Next, properly remove the finish from a piece of painted fiberglass reinforced plastic material. Next, demonstrate the correct way to clean a transparent plastic flight deck enclosure or windshield. Next, remove corrosion from a lead acid battery box and treat the box to prevent further corrosion. Next, treat the cylinders of a reciprocating engine to prevent rust and corrosion when the engine is being prepared for a long-term storage. Next, treat a piece of welded steel tubular structure to prevent rust and corrosion inside the tubing. All right, next section, mathematics. Question: what formula is used to find the area of a circle? Answer: area equals pi r squared, or pi radius squared, or area equals 0.7854 times diameter squared. Question: what formula is used to find the volume of a cylinder? Answer: the volume equals 0.07854 times diameter squared times height. You know, it should also be volume equals pi r squared times height. Question: what formula is used to find the area of a rectangle? Area is length times width. Question: what formula is used to find the volume of a rectangular solid? Volume is length times width times height. Question: what formula is used to find the area of a triangle? Area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2, or length times height times half. Question: what is the significance of the constant pi? Pi is 3.14159, or you can just put in 3.14. That should be sufficient. This is the ratio of the circumference of a diameter of any circle. Question: what is meant by the root of a number? Answer: the root of a number is one of two or more equal numbers that when multiplied together will produce the number. 4 times 4 is 16. That's the root of 16 is 4. Question: what is the 8th power of 2? Answer: 256. I would use a calculator. Question: what is the square root of 4096? Answer: 64. Question: what is meant by a negative number? Answer: the number is less than 0. Question: what is meant by a ratio and how is a ratio expressed? Answer: a fraction that compares one number to another. For example, a 6:2 is a ratio. All right, mathematic practical projects or tasks. Number 1, given a list of common fractions, convert them from decimal fractions. I think what they're trying to say is convert from decimal to fractions, or convert from fractions to decimals. Question, or next, given a list of decimal fractions, convert them to common fractions with the smallest whole denominator. Next, given the bore and stroke of an aircraft engine cylinder, compute the piston displacement of one cylinder. Next, given the bore stroke and clearance volume of an aircraft engine cylinder, compute the compression ratio of the cylinder. Next, given the span and chord, CHORD, of a rectangular wing, compute the area of the wing. Next, given the length, width, and depth of a fuel tank, find the number of US gallons of fuel the tank will hold. Next, find the square and cube of a list of numbers. Next, find the square root of a list of numbers. Next, add, subtract, multiply, and divide a list of positive and negative numbers. Next, add, subtract, multiply, and divide a list of common fractions. Next, find the number that is a given percentage of another number. Next, change a list of mixed numbers into improper fractions. Next, given the diameter of a circle, find its area. Next, find the number of square inches of metal needed to make an open-end cylinder having a given diameter and length. Next, solve a problem that involves square roots in the numerator and the square of a number in the denominator. Next, find the area of a trapezoid when the altitude and the length of both of the bases are given. Next, convert a list of common fractions into percentages. And lastly, find the speed of rotation of the shaft of a driven gear when the gear ratio and the rotational speed of the driven gear is given. Next section, regulations, maintenance forms, records, and publications. Everyone's favorite section. Question, what records must be made of a 100-hour inspection before the aircraft is approved for return to service? Answer, an entry must be made in the aircraft maintenance records that describes the type of inspection and the extent of the inspection, the date of the inspection, the aircraft total time in service, the signature and certificate number of the person approving or disapproving the aircraft for return to service. Question, what records must be made of the compliance of an airworthiness directive? Answer, an entry must be made in the aircraft maintenance records stating that the airworthiness directive, or the AD, has been complied with. The entry must include the AD number and the revision date, the date of compliance, the aircraft total time in service, the method of compliance, and whether or not this is a recurring AD. If it is a recurring AD, put down the next time of compliance in the maintenance records. Question, what record must be made of a major repair to an aircraft structure? Answer, an FAA Form 337 must be completed for the repair, and a record must be made in the aircraft maintenance records referencing the Form 337 by its date. Question, how many copies must be made of a Form 337 after a major airframe repair? What is the deposition of each of the copies? Answer, at least 2 copies must be made. The original copy is signed is a signed form and goes to the aircraft owner, and a copy goes to the FAA office. Question: who is authorized to perform a 100-hour inspection on an aircraft? Answer: a certified mechanic who holds an A and P rating, airframe and power plant rating. Question: who is authorized to perform an annual inspection on an aircraft? Answer: a certified A and P mechanic who holds an inspection authorization, or an IA. Question: for how long must the record of a 100-hour inspection be kept? Answer: for 1 year or until the next 100-hour inspection is completed. Question: can a certificated A&P mechanic supervise an unlicensed person as the unlicensed person performs a 100-hour inspection on an aircraft? Answer: no, a certified mechanic must personally perform the inspection. Question: where can you find a list of basic items that must be inspected on a 100-hour inspection? Answer: 14 CFR Part 43 Appendix D. Question: where can you find an example of the correct type of write-up to use for recording a 100-hour inspection in the aircraft maintenance records? Answer: in the 14 CFR 43.11. Question: what is done with the aircraft maintenance records that include the current status of the applicable airworthiness directive when the aircraft is sold? Answer: these maintenance records must be transferred with an aircraft when it's sold. Question: what is meant by a progressive inspection? Answer: an inspection that is approved by the FAA Flight Standard Office, or FSO, in which the aircraft is inspected according to an approved schedule. This allows the complete inspection to be conducted over a period of time without having to keep the aircraft out of service as long as would be necessary to perform the entire inspection at one time. Question: who is authorized to rebuild an aircraft engine and issue a zero-time maintenance record? Answer: only the manufacturer. Repeat, only the manufacturer of the engine or a repair station approved by the manufacturer. This is a trick question, okay? Question: what action must a mechanic take if the aircraft being inspected on a 100-hour inspection fails because of an unairworthy component? Answer: the aircraft maintenance records must indicate that the aircraft has been inspected and found to be unairworthy, and then write that condition because of certain discrepancies. A signed and dated list of these discrepancies must be given to the owner or leasee of the aircraft. Question: what is an FAA advisory circular? Answer: a publication put out by the FAA for information rather than for regulation. Question: what is a Federal Aviation Regulation, FAR? Answer: the actual law regarding the conduct of aviation activities. Question: where can a mechanic find specific instructions for the maintenance of a particular aircraft? Answer: in the FAA approved maintenance manual produced by the manufacturer of the aircraft. Question: what is the purpose of an AD, or airworthiness directive? Answer: an airworthiness directive is issued by the FAA to warn the owner or operator of an aircraft of a condition that has been discovered that renders an aircraft engine or component unairworthy. Airworthiness directives are really important. Question: how does a mechanic record the compliance with an airworthiness directive, AD? Answer: an entry must be made in the aircraft maintenance records stating that the AD has been complied with. The entry must include the AD number, the revision date, the date of compliance, the aircraft total time in service, the method of compliance, whether or not it is recurring, and if it is recurring, the next time the compliance must be noted. Question, where can a mechanic find a list of major alterations that have been made and approved for FAA certificated aircraft? Answer, in the summary of supplemental type certificates. This is a trick question. This is in the summary of the supplemental type certificates. Question, in what part of the regulations can a mechanic find the airworthiness standard for normal, utility, and acrobatic category aircraft? Answer, 14 CFR Part 23. Question, in what part of the regulations can a mechanic find the airworthiness standard for transport category aircraft? Answer, 14 CFR Part 25. Question, in what part of regulations can a mechanic find the airworthiness standard for normal category rotorcraft? Answer, 14 CFR Part 27. Question, in what part of the regulations can a mechanic find the list of items that must be inspected on an annual or 100-hour inspection? Annual or 100-hour? Answer, 14 CFR Part 43 Appendix D. Question, in what information provided by the FAA can a mechanic find a list of the engines that are approved for a specific FAA certificated airplane? Answer, in the type certificate data sheet of the aircraft, the TCDS. Question, in what part of the regulations can a mechanic find the specifications for the identification numbers that must be displayed on an aircraft? Answer, 14 CFR Part 45. Part 45. Question, what type of information is issued by the manufacturer of an aircraft or engine that allows the mechanic to properly maintain the aircraft or engine? Answer, an FAA approved service manual. An FAA approved service manual. Question, how does the manufacturer of an aircraft or engine keep the mechanics in the field aware of changes that affect the safety and performance of the aircraft or engines? Answer, by the issuance of service bulletins. This is aware of changes affecting the safety and performance. This is not where AEDs come in. This is for service bulletins. Question, in what government publication can a mechanic find the category in which a particular aircraft is certified? Answer, TCDS, Type Certificate Data Sheet. Question, what part of the FAR gives the requirements for the issuance of a mechanic certificate? Answer, 14 CFR Part 65. Next question, what are the 2 ratings that can be issued to a mechanic as a certificate? Answer, airframe and power plant. Question, how long is a mechanic certificate valid? I think what they're trying to say is question, how long is a mechanic certificate valid for? Answer, it is effective until it is surrendered or revoked. No expiration date, essentially, unless it's surrendered or revoked. Question, what is the recency of experience requirement for keeping a mechanic certificate valid? Answer, the holder of the certificate must have used it in technically or in a supervisory capacity for at least 6 months of the preceding 24 months. Question, for how long is a temporary mechanic certificate valid for? Answer, 120 days. Question, is it legal for a certificated aircraft mechanic to make a minor repair to an aircraft instrument? Answer, no, not unless they are operating under an authority of a certificated repair station approved for this operation. The trick question is instruments. You are not an avionics technician. Question, Who is authorized to approve an aircraft for return to service after a major repair has been made to its basic structure? Answer: an A&P mechanic holding an IA. This is a trick question. Major repair to its basic structure. The answer is A, an A&P holding an IA. Question: is it legal for a certificated power plant mechanic to make a major repair to a propeller? Answer: no, not unless they are operating under the authority of a certificated repair station approved for this operation. You are not a propeller tech, so no. Question: in what part of the FAR can a mechanic find a list of operations that are considered to be major airframe repairs? Answer: 14 CFR Part 43 Appendix A, Alpha. Question: in what part of the FAR can a mechanic find a list of items that should be inspected on a 100-hour inspection? Answer: 14 CFR Part 43 Appendix D, Delta. Question: is it legal for a certificated mechanic to supervise an uncertificated person while the uncertificated person performs a 100-hour inspection on an FAA certificated aircraft? Answer: no. Only a certificated mechanic can perform the 100-hour inspection. Question: who is authorized to conduct an annual inspection on an FAA certificated aircraft? Answer: an A&P mechanic who holds an IA. Annual inspection. An A&P who holds an IA. Okay. Question: under what conditions can a mechanic with only a power plant rating perform maintenance on an airframe of an FAA certificated aircraft? Answer: they can perform maintenance, not the required inspections, under the supervision of a mechanic who holds an airframe rating. Question: who is responsible for ensuring that all of the aircraft maintenance records are kept up to date? Answer: the registered owner or operator of the aircraft. Question: who is authorized to perform the inspection on an altimeter that is required under 14 CFR 91.411? Answer: the FAA certificated repair station approved for this particular function. Again, you are not an avionics technician. Question: how soon must the holder of an FAA mechanic certificate notify the FAA of permanent changes in their address? Answer: within 30 days of any permanent change in their address. All right, practical request tasks for regulations, maintenance forms, records, and publications. Number 1, prepare a Form 337 describing a major repair or a major alteration that is specified by the examiner. Prepare a maintenance record entry that approves an aircraft for return to service after the 100-hour inspection. Prepare a maintenance record entry that records the proper compliance with an AD, airworthiness directive, specified by the examiner. Next, prepare a maintenance record entry that records the required tests and inspection for an altimeter system that is installed on an aircraft that is flown under an instrument flight rules. Next, given a list of repair and alterations to an aircraft and engine, identify the operations that require a Form 337 to be filled out. Next, locate in the FAR the description of the tests and inspections that must be performed on altimeter systems and on ATC transponders. Next, given a list of maintenance functions, identify which of them are major airframe repairs, minor airframe repairs, major power plant repairs, minor power plant repairs, major airframe alterations, minor airframe alterations, major power plant alterations, and minor power plant alterations. Which ones are preventative maintenance? Next, given a list of maintenance functions, identify the ones that a mechanic with only a power plant rating can perform. Next, given a list of maintenance functions, identify the ones that only a mechanic with an airframe rating can perform. Next, given a list of maintenance functions, identify the ones that an A&P mechanic cannot perform, essentially the avionics stuff. Next, prepare the correct type of notification that is necessary to advise the FAA of a permanent change of address. Next, explain the examiner the difference in the privileges of a certificate mechanic and those certified repairmen. Next, explain to the examiner the difference between a 100-hour inspection and an annual inspection. Next, explain to the examiner the portion of the altimeter and static system inspection required by 14 CFR 91.411 that may be performed by a mechanic with an airframe rating. Next section, physics for aviation. Question: what is meant by matter? Answer: anything that occupies space and has weight. Question: what are 3 basic physical states in which matter can exist? Answer: solid, liquid, gas. Question: what is meant by pressure? Answer: forces that acts on a unit of area. Question: what is the standard sea level atmospheric pressure expressed in inches of mercury and in pounds per square inch? Answer: 29.92 inches of mercury and 14.69 pounds per square inch. Question: what characteristics of the atmosphere determines the speed of sound? Answer: its temperature. That might be a trick question for some of you. Temperature determines the speed of sound. Question: what is meant by the density of air? Answer: the weight of a given volume of air. Question: how much force is produced by 1,000 psi of hydraulic pressure acting on a piston whose area is 20 square inches? 20 times 1,000 is, answer, 20,000 pounds. Notice the units changed from per square inch to pounds. Question: what is meant by the fulcrum of a lever? Answer: the point about which a lever rotates. Question: give examples of what a first class lever is, a second class lever is, and what a third class lever is. Answer: a first class lever is such like a screwdriver being used to pry the lid from a can of paint. A second class lever would be a wheelbarrow, and a third class lever would be a hydraulically retracted landing gear. Question: how many cubic inches of fluid is forced out of a cylinder by a piston whose area is 20 square inches when the piston moves 5 inches? 25, so 20 times 5 is 100. So your answer is 100 cubic inches. Question: what is meant by a temperature of absolute zero? Answer: the temperature at which all molecular movement stops. Question: what is Celsius equivalent of a temperature of 50 degrees Fahrenheit? Answer: 10 degrees Celsius. Question: what formula is used to find the amount of work done when an object is moved across a floor? Answer: work is force times distance. Question: what determines the mechanical advantage of an arrangement of ropes and pulleys? Answer: the number of ropes that support the weight. Question: what determines the mechanical advantage of a gear train? Answer: the ratio. The ratio between the number of teeth on the drive gear and the number of teeth on the driven gear. Question: what will happen to the pressure of a confined gas if the temperature of the gas is increased? Answer: the pressure will increase. This is from the formula PV equals nRT. Yeah. Question: what are the 3 methods of heat transfer? Answer: conduction, convection, and radiation. Question, what is meant by the absolute humidity of an atmosphere? Answer, the actual amount of water that is in a given volume of air. Next section, the practical side of the physics for aviation. Number 1, identify from a drawing of a lever furnished by the examiner the class of lever it is and its mechanical advantage. Next, use a dimension diagram of a hydraulic cylinder furnished by the examiner. Find the amount of force exerted by a specified amount of hydraulic pressure. Next, find the amount of force needed to roll a barrel of oil up an inclined plane when the length of the plane and the weight of the barrel and the height of the barrel is all known variables. Next, use a diagram of a gear train furnished by the examiner. Find the speed and direction of rotation of the output shaft when the speed and direction of the input shaft are known. Next, convert a list of Celsius temperatures into Fahrenheit temperatures. Next, convert a list of Fahrenheit temperatures into Celsius temperatures. Next, use a battery hydrometer. Measure the specified gravity of the electrolyte in a lead acid battery. And lastly, give examples of heat transfer by conduction, convection, and radiation. Last section. Sorry. Inspection concepts and techniques. Question. Irregular and haphazard inspections invariably result in what? Answer. The result is a gradual and certain deterioration of an aircraft. Question. A review of accident-related data indicates that approximately 75 to 80% of all aviation accidents are the results of human error. Of those accidents, what percent are maintenance-related? Answer. Of those accidents, about 12% are maintenance-related. All right, we made it through the oral and practical of general test. Good luck. I'll see you in the next video, and that should be airframe or power plant. Until next time.